Welcome back, everybody, to the BD1P Binding of Isaac Randomizer. Today is going to be an Azazel run straight to Mom's heart. We played a lot of Azazel, well, one run, I know, but it was very recently, but we need to get the mark done regardless, and I think it's a good time to do it. Seed, by the way, is going to be 43KT, BHGL. Good character, great stats. Flight off the bat is going to be huge. We can hopefully try to get some extra achievements through some kind of flight-based beads. I'm still pretty lost on that, but either way, this should be a pretty easy win. And I think soon we get the Blue Baby unlock as well, which will give us not Blue Baby, but it could be a tainted character, could be a different character, who knows. But regardless of all of that, what I wanted to talk about today was the second part of yesterday's discussion about Nintendo. This time, a very negative Nintendo talks. If you don't want to listen to all my negativity when it comes to Nintendo and supporting the esports scene, may not be the video for you. If you like that kind of stuff, though, stick around. So either way, I am pretty invested into the Smash Bros. Competitive scene. I've gone to a couple major tournaments, gone to quite a few minor tournaments, weeklies, all those kind of things, and I've never really been good enough to sink time into Smash, but I've been decent enough where I know what's going on and I can follow competitive Smash pretty closely. And there's only really a couple of big Smash organizations that people who aren't invested in the scene would know by name, and one of those is Panda Global. Panda Global has hired on, for their whole market. They've got speedrunners, they've got Smash players, they got a whole bunch of other fighting games as well. They're a pretty big organization, and they broke new ground, I think it was last year, by being the first organization to have an official Nintendo partnership. Now, why is that so big? Well, Nintendo is notorious for shutting down fan-made games and fan-made projects, all that kind of stuff, and that same thing extends to competitive events. They have shut down numerous Smash events in the past, big tournaments, majors, minors, whatever it may be, because they weren't officially endorsed by Nintendo. Pretty shitty thing to do. They've also done quite a lot in terms of harming the scene by not supporting Melee, not supporting Project Plus, which is a modded version of their game. They've gone as far to shut down entire events for including Project Plus in their venue because it's not an official, Smash game. It's a mod of an older Smash game, and it's very harmful to the community. It's very hard for this community to grow if they aren't going to be publicly endorsed by Nintendo for keeping their own games alive, mind you. They're pretty much the only reason that Smash has any relevancy today, I would say, and intentionally chokeholding them and shutting them down for, just trying to have fun with their video games. And when Panda Global announced they had partnered with Nintendo, everybody was pretty stoked. Everyone was like, this means we're going to have more officially sanctioned events. They're going to be shutting down less stuff. We're going to have a lifeline to talk to Nintendo about events and hosting, things like that. That was amazing, by the way. It's going to be great. And I was one of those people. I was like, I'm very happy about this. As much as, Panda Global's had a couple of controversies in the past, I think this is a step in the right direction, and it's going to help the scene as a whole. And you'd be remiss to think it'd be a bad thing. Poorly aged things. So, before we talk about what happened recently, let's kind of go down the list of what Panda's done in the past that has not been very good for Smash Bros. Or people in general. One of the biggest things is they had a whole controller scandal. Now, I'm not too familiar with this one because I don't really buy custom Smash controllers, but from what I understand, they had pretty much scammed a lot of people out on custom controllers, and I think, don't quote me because I could be entirely wrong here, this is not a thing that I'm super familiar with, but they might have shut down or banned venues from selling controllers at their tournaments because it hindered their own controller sales, I think, along those lines. But their other scandal came with an adapter they built. So a lot of professional Smash is played on a GameCube controller, and they have a weird plug. They're not like an official, they don't get made anymore. Like they make updated versions of GameCube controllers, but like they're not officially supported by a console natively. You have to buy special adapters to plug them in to USB, then plug the controller into that adapter. It's a process, right? I think I'll take this actually. Yo, nice. It's a whole process, and they had made an adapter that worked in the undocked Switch. You could just have the screen, put it on top of this contraption, and it would allow you to use a GameCube controller without needing to have your Switch in a dock on a TV. And it was this huge thing because, like, it helps people practice, you know, before events or on the plane, wherever they want to be. They can now play GameCube controller, you know, without having to have a TV with them. It makes the Switch even more portable. I almost bought one myself when they first came out, but I was still in high school, so it would have been a poor choice because, you know, looking back now, why would I ever need a thing like that? It's kind of weird, but whatever. They were really cool. About a month after they were announced, people were getting their orders finally, and they were pretty shoddily made. Like, they had a lot of input delay, despite, you know, Panda saying that they're the most high-end, you know, whatever it may be. A lot of input delay. And they just didn't really work the best. And they were gutting controllers as well. So if you plug this is a thing that still happens with USB ports as well sometimes, but especially with GameCube controllers, if the adapter or the port you're plugging it into is terribly made, when you unplug your controller, it could pull out part of the inside and ruin your controller. And these handheld adapter things were doing just that. Supposedly, I guess. I guess I wouldn't know if they were, you know, I didn't have one myself, but supposedly they were gutting controllers, and Panda was pretty much saying nothing about this and just keeping the money that they were making and not really offering refunds or whatever it may be. That's actually pretty good for what we have right now. And everyone was kind of pissed at them, but of course everyone forgot because this is the biggest esports org for Smash, and they have so many top players. You know, they are most known for having ESAM. They used to have MVD as well, and they were a good Smash Ultimate duo team in the beginning of the game's lifespan. But, you know, like, there wasn't really much to get mad at them about besides alleged controller scandals. But yesterday for me, and a long time ago for you guys, by the time this video comes out, I'm sure, a big scandal broke. There is this event called Smash World Tour, called SWT for short. And it was this huge event, the biggest Smash Bros. Tournament for Ultimate, from what I understand, yet. Huge event, lots of planning. People had already had their tickets for flights and stuff. The brackets for top players were already made. Everyone had their... It was in San Antonio, so people were flying from all across the world to go to San Antonio to play Smash at this, you know, big event. And just yesterday, news broke that the event was canceled, and everyone was pretty heartbroken because there was going to be Melee there was going to be Project Plus, there was going to be, you know, Ultimate, just a ton, like a celebration of Smash pretty much. And with COVID happening a couple years back, and that kind of killed the Smash scene for quite a bit because nobody was playing the game in person. Ooh, that is a guaranteed Satan. We'll take this, and we're going to get conjoined right here as well. Beautiful, and we can move on down. You know, with COVID making the scene so much harder a couple of years ago, this was a huge comeback. We already had a couple of comebacks in terms of like Big House 6, Genesis, whatever it may be, but this was like the big, you know, we're all doing a huge Smash event again. And having it get canceled was... It was heartbreaking because there was so much time and work put into this thing, and it's gone in an instant. So naturally, oh, this is a really good item too, though. Damn. Naturally, everyone began asking why. Why is it canceled? Why is the event not happening anymore? And attached to the cancellation tweet, there was a twitlonger that explained everything in detail. Now, as you know, pretty much everybody expected, the blame was pointed at Nintendo, shutting down the event, you know, for unknown reasons. Well, known as in like it was a non-official, a non-sanctioned Nintendo event. But everyone was wondering why, because earlier in 2022, at Smash World Tour, it was allowed to happen. and Nintendo said nothing about it. So what changed this time? If anything, it would get easier to do events because the games aren't going to be officially supported, and the longer you get away from a game's release time, the less the company cares about that particular entry. So what's different this time? What's changed? And in the TwitLonger, it was revealed that Panda Global had essentially blackballed them because they weren't, how do you phrase this? They weren't, I guess, partnering with Panda Global for Smash World Tour. They weren't, working together on it. And because Panda is the only org that has direct Nintendo sanction, Panda Global urged Nintendo to shut down the event. And to put it in basketball terms for you guys, as somebody put in the comments of that tweet, imagine if like the European, side of basketball shut down the NBA because they didn't like it. That's pretty much, for what I don't know basketball, but hopefully that's a good enough analogy. That's essentially what happened. It was shut down. Wow. Okay. Thanks for the invisible sprite there at 1 heart now. Lovely. Shoot. We'll keep playing it out. I'm sure we'll be fine. Don't worry about it, chat. We'll be fine. Watch. See? Full health. Look at that. Perfect for us. Either way, very shitty thing to do. And you can't obviously blame the players because they don't have any say in this. You have to blame the CEO of Panda. Alan something. His name's Alan. He has not released a statement on it yet. Neither has Nintendo. Well, they, I think, contacted SWT and were like, well, no, Nintendo said they didn't cancel the event because they didn't cancel the event. They sent a 30-page document saying if you did the event, we'll sue you, pretty much. So no, they didn't cancel the event, but they implied that if they didn't cancel the event, they would get sued. So, legalese wording right there, I guess. Oh, great, not you again. In layman's terms, yes, they canceled the event. But Panda has not said anything, and Panda has their Panda Cup, which, to show how influential Panda Global is, the public ranking for how good a Smash player is called the PGR, the Panda Global ranking, because it's Panda handles all of that. If you play in an event, Panda will give you points or a score, and that puts you up in the ranking or whatever. So Panda is the Smash org, and this is happening with them. They're shutting down other events, making it harder for any non-Panda or non-Nintendo sanctioned event to happen. Obviously, it's very shitty. Obviously, it's very bad. I shouldn't have to explain to you guys why what they're doing is complete chicanery, like a chimp with a machine gun, but it is, and it's very heartbreaking. Now, a couple of top players were saying they should go to, because they have their Panda Cup later this year. Maybe it's next year. I don't really know when these events, happen, but people were saying that all the top players who are already signed on to go should go there and throw their matches or stall their matches and make the tournament pretty much unwatchable. Basically, everybody who has a brain cell has essentially disowned Panda, and they're a dying organization already. But I still think we should wait for a response from the Panda Global CEO, because as we saw recently with the Bayonetta scandal, it's important that both sides say their piece first before making any concrete judgments. But based off the evidence provided, you would have to have an apology letter from God to weasel your way out of this one, because there's really no explanation for it besides they didn't work with Panda, so they're not going to get their event made. It's the only explanation that anybody can think of. So, Panda Global, fuck you, because Smash is the thing I'm very passionate about, and I play it quite a bit off stream, just practice. And if you guys remember the 4-player file, Merm and JT, we met all through Smash. Well, we didn't meet through Smash, but I did meet JT through Smash. One of my best friends. I met a lot of my friends through Smash, and a lot of my friends I've kept through playing Smash. Aldog, TG, Merm, again, Pluop, we all, maintained friendships. Whenever we hang out and I go on vacation back home, the first thing we do is we play Smash, or we play Mario Kart. It's a tradition for us, and the game it's so good. And it sucks to see how much Nintendo hates, and PG apparently also hates, you know, people trying to celebrate how much they love this game and this event. It's frustrating, man. Like, I met a new friend recently through LEGO speedruns, but also, like, we have Smash in common, who was an editor for the Beast Coast Esports org, and this pissed him off a lot because, again, like, he makes a lot of money off of Smash and editing Smash clips for Beast Coast, and now, you know, less events means less money. I mean, it's harmful to everybody. It's harmful to Nintendo, harmful to Panda Global, harmful to every, like, I don't understand why Nintendo hates all this so much. Like, I get they can't control what happens at their events, and that's a pretty awful thing because, you know, if a bad thing happens, it could reflect on their company. But let's be real here. What's going to happen at a Smash event that's so fucking heinous? I mean, this scene, and why shut it down now? Like, after last year, they were able to keep, what's different, you know? And I don't know. It's just, it's a whole thing that obviously I wish it wasn't happening, but it's just, it blows my mind that in today's day and age, with how popular esports has become, that these companies still decide that it's not worth their time. And it's a little bit, it's just mind-blowing. It's all I can describe it as. It's literally just mind-blowing. Like, imagine if you created a game and, you know, you're no longer supporting that game with no more updates, no more patches, whatever it may be, and it's essentially being kept alive through a competitive scene. And that's doubly true for Melee. Melee came out in 2001, and the game is even more played than Smash Ultimate some days because of how popular the competitive scene for Melee is. Imagine you have these people that are propping up your old dead game, giving it more notoriety, getting more people invested into Smash as a franchise. And your first thought is like, let's shut these bitches down. I mean, wow. Wow. We can make Boss Rush here. You know, and I would not mind getting a Boss Rush unlocked too. But it all just comes down to, like, holy shit, you guys just hate yourselves. I mean, Nintendo as a company must have some kind of self-hatred or self-disdain to keep these things happening over and over. And I really hope they reconsider, because Smash World Tour was an event that I was looking forward to. And I've restreamed Smash events like twice before. Whenever like Script is commentating, I'll go watch on, you know, whatever event he's playing at, or I'll stream it myself and watch with a couple of viewers, or stream it in Discord, whatever it may be. You guys understand what I'm trying to say. And it's a lot of fun to do that kind of stuff, but I don't know. It's very hard to keep invested and keep, you know, like wanting to be part of the competitive scene or follow it when it feels like at every turn they get kicked right in the dick. You know, it's like, oh, sorry, buddy. I mean, we're not gonna, you know, give you any. Like, they don't have to do anything. They don't have to fund the scene. I mean, it would be nice if they gave more prize pool money, because like, what was it, Evo, where like the grand prize for like Tekken was like a fucking gold Xbox, and Nintendo was like, here's a GameCube controller. I mean, come on, man. Are you really gonna pull that? Like, it'd be nice to have money from Nintendo for these events, but if that can't happen, I think everybody gets it. Everybody understands. How do I get down there? Oh, there's a ladder, like literally right here. Key beggar, battery bomb. No, thank you. We'll leave. But even if they don't want to fund us, like, why not just let the events, like, what's the harm in letting the events happen? It can literally only do good for the company. Because if any PR scandal happens, they can say, hey, we're not part of this scene. We don't have any affiliation with this. And sure, you know, it's not going to free them of all consequence. Yo, nice. But, I don't know, man. I just find it a little bit absurd. I can get now wanting to be associated with potential PR losses, but what about the PR gains from supporting it? What about the goodwill with your player base? You know, like that seems just as important. I'm not like a businessman. I don't understand how the inner workings of this stuff are, but I cannot realistically think of one reason why you'd want to shut SWT down Unless you had some outside force like PG in your ear, whispering, you know, sweet nothings. We're gonna be keeping... Oh, there's more items. Hold on. I didn't even see those. You go for a wafer, obviously. The Q blocked the scissors, so I didn't know it was even there. You pop strength and you just go for it here. But, you know, it's always going to be something with Nintendo. I mean, if they're not shutting down fan-made passion stuff like that one Metroid game or that one Pokemon game, then they're going to be shutting down, you know, official game events. It's depressing. And I really hope that something in the future changes, or I guess like they just make a better choice. I don't know. I can't think of like, because there's no reason why they should be shutting the shit down. I can't think of a reason why they should do it in the first place. It's a no-brainer. If you just do it, you don't need a reward for supporting your player base or keeping goodwill there. I mean, how many companies have gone under because of PR disasters? Nintendo is the example of too big to fail, right? Like, they're never gonna lose a ton of money. They've had so many console flops and underselling games that like nothing's gonna kill Nintendo. But you know how many big companies have gone under for PR scandals that, you know, are much smaller than Nintendo? I really wish Nintendo was a smaller company, and that them being this mean to the scene or this awful to the scene would have a consequence to them, and they would learn, oh, you know, these people keep us in business and they keep our games going strong. We should support them. I'm so bad at this game. Talking about PG and Nintendo has gotten me losing to fucking Monstro 2 with the wafer of all things. I mean, come on, brother. But you know what, man? You know what? I can't do anything, but I can imagine if I was into competitive Smash more, I was a competitive Smash player, this would be like someone handing me a job application. it'd be awful. And there's been jokes around, like, some top players are legitimately retiring because of like things like this. They're, you know, going back to doing whatever else, whether it be video editing, playing other games. Like, they're just done with Smash because they can't take it anymore. And you know what? I don't blame them. I think staying in Smash this long, if you aren't like a top Melee player, is kind of dangerous, because there's most likely not going to be another Smash Bros. Game. Or one that's going to have as longevity as like Smash 4 had, or obviously as Melee's had. Jesus. And I think that staying in Smash this long is... You could still live off of that money and make a career out of it, but it becomes harder and harder by the day, just because of you know, the lack of new content. And as we've seen with Isaac as well in the past, like, when games stop getting updates and content, then they start losing steam in terms of popularity in the pop culture eye, and then you lose viewers and whatever it may be. So I think Smash is a really guilty case of that, because Nintendo has so many first-party IPs that when a new one drops, I mean, I'm sure when like Bot W2 drops, that, you know, Smash Ultimate is going to take a big dip for a while. I'm sure Pokemon will take a big dip once, you know, Bot W2 comes out. I'm sure when Mario Kart releases, I'm sure it affects Smash too. And if you're only known for Smash and no one's watching you play the new Mario Kart game or the new Bot W2, then you put yourself in a box where your success is entirely relied upon by Nintendo not being shitty, which is, you know, more likely than the sky being blue. They're always going to be terrible. So again, like, I think it sucks for these top players who are truly passionate, who have to now look for, like, you know, other jobs or other kinds of income, and then can't play Smash as much, and then as a result get worse, and then don't play the game. Like, there's a very good Twitter thread by a friend of mine named Lavish, and, you know, whenever a top player loses or does some dumb shit or like whatever it may be, they get clowned on pretty hard because they're supposed to be top players. But Lavish put it in perspective pretty well, where he said that it's not hard to be an adult, you know, in their late 20s who has a full-time job trying to be professionally good at Smash, as opposed to a high schooler who has, you know, pretty much every second of their day available to playing video games and can get better through that means. I think he's entirely right. I think that, you know, high school, you might think, oh, it's so stressful, I have so much work. You don't. You're doing nothing right now. As someone who was previously in high school and college for a semester and a half, I can tell you, you are legitimately, you have no workload. None. I mean, if you're like an all AP student and you're taking all these AP classes and doing early college classes, sure. I was doing early college classes. I was taking AP classes, and I still had endless free time on my hands to do whatever I wanted to do. Just a fact, Jack. You still have, even with all of that, 3 or 4 more times the amount of time a grown adult has to put into this video game. It is very annoying to see the kids who have like infinite time to do whatever or lab things out. Is this really a black market? Okay. Interesting. I don't know if buying stuff from black market would give me an achievement. I doubt it. I need to get the mom kill regardless as this character, so we will not be skipping that right now. But I don't know. It's very frustrating. I'm sure as a top player as well, it's hard to hear like you're washed or you're trash when you're juggling, you know, real life upon playing a video game. A lot of kids don't realize that, like, it is stressful, you know, having bills to pay and being on your own. And it's a lot of work, and it takes a lot to do, and it's draining. You may have free time, but after doing your tasks for the day, you may not want to go and sit down and lab out, you know, Ryu combos or Steve combos all day because you're tired. You know, it's a whole different life, and I think a lot of kids just think that once you graduate high school, if you're playing video games for a living, it is easy to do, but in order to make a career out of like what I do or what top players for Smash might do, you have to be dedicated entirely to just that, and you don't get free time because your every free time moment is spent playing a game for content or editing a game for content. And I'm sure for Smash it's not much different. You're either streaming Smash, practicing off camera, or flying around to events. You know, it's just, it's the way it goes sometimes. Is it going to be big square? Not big square. Okay, I'll go over here. Small square? It's kind of like a small square, a little rectangle action up there. You know, it's a lot. It is. I'll guarantee if you're a high schooler, even if you're like a high school senior, you've got more free time to play Smash and can get better than like a 23, 24-year-old. I'm sure of it. So for these people to be having another job that's not just... Where is this room? It's not just playing Smash and thinking like, man, I'm devoting so much of my time and my passion to this video game that might not even have a competitive scene in like 6 months. It would make more sense for them to stop playing Smash and just focus on the more important things in life, like, you know, personal connections or your other job or, you know, college. Like, it's a decision like this that is just one event being canceled can change a lot about a competitive scene. It puts everything else in a better... How did I choose every wrong way on an XL floor? These things have multiple paths. This is really good, actually. I like having this. But, you know, it can change a lot of your perspective on... Oh, this guy is crazy. On what you want to be doing with your time. And I would not blame any top player for just giving up. Honestly, I think giving up Smash is like the right thing to do in these circumstances. I think it's hard to make a case for staying in... Oh, my God. For staying in Smash. I can see why you'd want to quit. Like TLDR right there. I get it. You know, maybe it's a good time to branch out to other kinds of competitive games. I know Leffen started playing, you know, DBZ Fighters and Tekken a couple years back, and that was really good for his career. So, well, I wouldn't say that, actually. There's a lot of controversy with him and how he treated the other games as opposed to Smash. But still, I mean, it was a good career move at the very least. Dude, praise. This is so good for us. Sure. I'll take a damage up. Still Mom's Heart. Not it lives yet. We're getting there, though. Good. Okay. Do this. I'll save the bad trip pill for a black heart bomb next floor, I think. Because it'll drop me a black heart. Oh, this is fun. Okay. All right. Wafer, thank you. I love the wafer. I really do. All right. You know what time it is, boys? We go on down. What's the unlock we got here? I made a super bandage girl. Reverse Hierophant. Ooh. That gives you bone hearts. I'm very excited about that. So watch this. He got a double black heart bag for half a black heart. I love bad PhD plus this better hearts mod. Oh, baby. You don't know how much joy I got in seeing that drop. But if you're in a competitive Smash, if you want to get into it, go ahead. It's great. I think you'll find a lot of enjoyment in competitive Smash. My cat is going ham on this couch right now. Oh, watch out. Competitive Smash is great. It's such a fun game to play and watch and spectate and get involved in the scene and all the inner workings of the inside jokes and top player jokes. It's genuinely wonderful. Give me a black market here. You know what? Give me a freaking black market here. Is he lucky? He's not lucky. That's an okay item, but not lucky enough. I don't have the speed nor the HP, I think, to get out of bounds on this floor, so we could sacrifice to Darkroom on these runs to get extra unlocks early, but they'll all come in due time, so I'm not super worried about that. We are going to do multiple seasons of the randomizer, by the way. I'm going to do one with no logic and see how... Well, I'm going to... With minimal logic. The character unlocks I want to still not be locked, but I want to have, like, the womb not be given to you, Polaroid not be given to you. Like, I want it to have no progression bias, so it's just, like, you can get everything, but it might take a lot of planning and figuring out what you have to get still to make it there. That's what I want to have happen next season. This is just a very nice, like, figuring out, the proper strategies and what works for these randomizers. But we're going to do multiple seasons of this. This is my favorite way to play Isaac now. Used to be modded, now we're just going back to slight vanilla and going along that route. We'll probably maybe add some extra mods next time. Who knows if we can get that working. I'd love to have couple of character mods or couple of small content mods that I think are vanilla styled but push the line of still being somewhat new and interesting. That would be fun to do as well. Dude, I think I might have again like the worst padding luck in the Binding of Isaac Repentance for PC. I mean, look at this. It was right here. I was supposed to go this way. It might be decently far this way as well. I don't know. Okay, Papa. Okay. That's all right. Yep. Well, we got out of that room with I would not say minimal damage. That's for sure. Give me a good pill. I'll take this. Could give me a strength for a room. I don't know. Just give me like a pill that gives me like 8 black hearts. Give me 8 bad trip pills. Give me 17 retro vision pills. Alright, Guardian Angel. Alright, getting some good unlocks this run. I like that item. It's not too good, not too bad. We'll bomb these guys for maybe a thing too. I don't know if you have to bomb shopkeepers for an unlock. It feels like an Isaac thing you'd have to do is bombing shopkeepers for some kind of obscure... Alright, you don't have that much HP. Don't be getting too overzealous right now. Can we find... I want to find the super. Where could you be? I guess you're probably like... No? Alright. Can't be down. I guess you technically could be right here. Alright, we found it. Hey, and that was actually probably going to be life-saving, because the new Satan patterns, I don't know yet. No bombs, though, for you. I'll do this instead. Oh, you don't spawn the explosive guys. Nice little nerf there. Or, well, nerf for me. It's actually a buff for you because I can't explode you like doubly. So, that's sad, but... Okay, that's what I'm talking about. These new patterns can be quite obtrusive, dude. There we go. I'm standing right here. Look at that fire damage. You ever see somebody do it like me? Beautiful. Beautiful Satan kill. Beautiful HP. What's our unlocks here? Heartbreak. It's a good one too. If you enjoyed the run of my commentary, a like and a comment goes a long way for a small channel like mine. In the meantime though, guys, I have been BD1P. Peace out and goodbye.